Okay, now that you've had some time to look over the questions, and I like how some of you guys even highlighted the questions. That's awesome. So this gives you a time for you to, an idea, to have these questions set up before you sit in front of the kids. Just like selecting your, remember when the question came up earlier about doing a cold read, it was not encouraged. It's also encouraged that you have some questions set aside because you want to, you know your kids. By this time, hopefully you're very aware of their needs and you know what kind of questions they may respond to and help you. Okay, so here we go, presentation time. Who would like to model conversing with our group today? Hey, my two amazing participants. So, thank you, Ms. D'Alba, Ms. Fleischer. Please come up and show us show the group what this looks like in the classroom.
Do you want to be the teacher or the student?
I want to be a student.
Okay,
So I read The Art Lesson.
oh, that's a fantastic book by Tommy DePaulo.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. So I see here today that you have read The Art Lesson, and I have to say this is one of my favorite books because I can really connect with the character here. How do you think our character here in this book feels throughout the book?
I think he's kind of selfish.
You do? Tell me
Yeah.
what.
Because
What is your thinking?
he didn't want to follow the school rules. He thought he could do his own thing, his own way. And while some might say like that's really awesome, it's not. You have to know that there are times when you do have to follow the guidelines. So the art teacher said you have to use these 8 colors, and he snuck the 64 colors in, and he drew on the sheets and he drew on the walls.
So, why do you think he was feeling that way though? Why do you think he was just he wanted so badly to use his own crowns and do his own thing?
Because he thought he knew more.
Okay, and what did he find out at the end of the book?
That he had to follow the rules, and that if he followed the rules, they would work with him so that he could have extra time to do, like once he did the assignment that was required, then he could use his 64 colors to do whatever he wanted. He had free time.
Good, and do you think that as he was following those rules and listening to his teacher, do you think that he learned something from that? Because it says here that in one of the parts, copying, and that he doesn't believe real artists should copy, but then he did follow those rules and he did copy. And then what did he learn as he was copying? Did he learn any new things or new techniques as an artist?
No.
You don't think so? Well, let's see. She says, here it's talking about drawing a pilgrim and a woman and a turkey, and then he will get to do his own thing after that. So when he was drawing these characters, what did he end up drawing afterwards?
A pilgrim and a woman.
And then what did he draw?
A woman with flowers, with multiple colors. He used all his
There
colors.
you go. So in his experience, he like you said, he learned how to follow those rules and those expectations. And then at the end of that, he was rewarded. So have you ever found yourself in that situation before? Has something like this ever happened to you?
What, that I got rewarded?
Well, that you felt like you didn't understand why you had to follow these rules.
Yes, my mom tells me I have to eat my vegetables at night, and I don't want to.
And why do you think your mom tells you have to eat your vegetables?
I don't know. Because it's good for me.
Because it's good for you. And so when you follow those rules with your mom, so you've been through this before, so you can kind of feel what our
Because if I eat my vegetables, I get dessert.
There you go. So you have had an experience like our character here before. So you kind of have an idea of what this character is going through and the feelings that he has, right? That's awesome. Well, good job. Okay.
Awesome job, guys. Good. Ow, sorry. I hurt my back a while ago, and then it's coming back to pain. Oh, shocked me. Okay, so.
Do you need to go get the nurse?
No, that's good. good idea. Thank you for saying that. Awesome job. I like how you, as a teacher, you were very prepared for the questioning. You had a lot of interesting questions that even when the student kind of hesitated, kind of had to think, you made her think, she still was able to go back, and your questions helped her move forward into really thinking about what she had read and came up to some conclusions. Excuse me. So that was very good. Did the questions help? Having questions beforehand, did they help you?
Absolutely. I feel like that having these questions in front of me and available to me allowed me to feel more prepared, and I was able to get more from that conference. I feel like if I went into the conference without any questions, that it would have taken me longer to kind of get to where I wanted to go with that conversation.
And I like that you drove her, you led her to her realizing, oh, there is, when I do something, even though I don't want to do it, when I do it, there's a reward for it at the end. Awesome job. Well, just moving on to make sure that we cover all the elements that we talked about, components we talked about, where the teacher, I'm going to show you a quick blurb of a small group where a teacher gathers 4 to 6 students who need same teaching, huddles them together, while the teacher models something or gives them a tip. Just quick blurb. Sounds working now.
Hi guys. I pulled us together today because I wanted to read a book together. This is a book, it's called In the Days of the Dinosaurs, A Nesting Place. And so one of the things I always do before I start reading a book is that I really look at the cover, at the title, and I start to think about, okay, what do I think this book is going to be mostly about, right? So why don't we just start doing that? I'll just give you one copy. Let's just look at the front. What are you guys feeling like this is going to be about? I mean, it's going to be about dinosaurs, right? What else are you thinking? What are you noticing?
I think babies.
You think someone might take some of the babies of the dinosaur? Do you guys know what a nest is?
Yeah.
What is a nest?
Okay, that was just to show you, for example, the previous question there was, do I have to have my kids? Does she have to have her kids in? Yes, by all means. It was just a nice example.
It's almost like conferencing, but with a bigger group.
Yeah.
Because it was almost the same way she questioned me.
Mhm.
And it looks very similar to like the mini lesson in a way.
Yes, they're all built on each other. Hopefully as you teachers, you're not thinking that these are all separate. They're all happening at the same time. You'd be surprised how everything's built on each other, and it's not segregated like in a math lesson where you only focus on multiplications or your multiple division. Reading is not. Reading is built upon each other, and it's intricate because it's just connecting. You cannot separate everything. Mini lesson is what it does. The mini lesson separates components and skills, but whenever you take off after that, that's when it becomes all at one, and everything's happening all at once, and there you have your time. Anybody notice anything else? Just a quick.
When is a good time to do? Sorry, I forgot to raise my hand. When is a good time to do that conferencing? Because it almost looks like it's happening during their independent work time and not afterwards.
Good point. That leads us to our next topic, where mid-workshop teaching happens.
Okay.
And mid-workshop work happens during. There will be times when the teacher will want to say something to all students, and I know that as a teacher, I want to interrupt their study, but I don't. So the teacher can then have students work stop, just have them like pause, get their attention, use signals, any signal that you as a teacher might want to use, and then give them a mid-workshop teaching point. And this is the time the teacher can offer a reminder or a quick tip to extend their mini lesson.
That's awesome.
So.
Yeah, because if we're conferencing with the kids throughout that independent work time, I know that there are times where I'm like, okay, this group didn't get it. This group didn't get it. This group isn't getting it. And I'm starting to notice a pattern. So I like that idea where I can just stop them and say, hey, remember this is what we're doing.
And that's going to happen lots of times throughout the school year, throughout many lessons, and it never changes. Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. Did you have something to say, share?
No.
Because that's our next point, share. And I was just wondering if you had something to share. So, share is at the end of each workshop, the teacher captures the power of that day's work to remind the readers what they have learned and close out the room. So you never want to stop a lesson. Yep, that's it. Okay guys, let's go on to the next point. You always want to bring back the learning. You always want to, and it's in a way, we call them today exit tickets, and there are exit tickets different ways, but you always want to make sure that the kids understand that you wrapped up something. And this is a perfect time also to cover any concerns that they may have, any questions they may have, or anything else you left out, something you might want to include. I will be very careful with that. So if you want to include something new that just came to you at that time, be very mindful of what you really want to include, because you don't want to throw everybody off. You just brought them up to this point, and you included something new. Little Michael that was struggling, and he finally got him where you want him, and then you include something new. Michael's going to be gone, like, what the? And that's something different. So, but sharing is where you really also find out what everybody's at. Where everybody's at, and as a group, you want to make sure you as a teacher understand that you did not an awesome job, but you did a decent job to bring them there, and that we're all together. Okay, so that's about sharing, and that concludes, actually, our professional development. Anyone have any questions, any concerns that you might have thought about at the time?
I actually liked the idea of what you shared with us about the mini lesson, because I always thought a mini lesson was supposed to be like this very long, extended, like that was what we did on Mondays, and then we do the work on Tuesdays. And so hearing now that the mini lesson is only supposed to be about 5 to 10 minutes, that to me almost takes a lot of weight off my shoulders, because I'm like, okay, so I power through it for that 5 to 10 minutes, share what's most important, and then go straight into that independent work. I like hearing
And extend it.
that.
Yeah, because most teachers want to do everything in the mini lesson, and no, you'll have time. So just focus on making sure that you cover it. Thank you so much for being here today, and hope you guys go home and enjoy the rest of your summer, because I know I'm going to try to until I get my next assignment.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
you.
Bye-bye.